friends, Jordan Breegle here with another tutorial video, and today's is going to be long. Honestly, all of the tutorial videos are going to be long so that way you guys can learn full, real information. Now, today's tutorial is on malware and viruses and cyber attacks. Okay, so we're going to learn what they are, what they do, the types that there are, and we're going to learn how to make them. Alright, so first and foremost, we need to go over the 3 levels of malware and its families. So level 1 is the well-known script kiddie level. And what the script kiddie level is basically the person making the virus actually doesn't do any of the coding, or if they do, they find bits and pieces of code and somehow string it together to make it work, and then they just start randomly launching these codes wherever they so choose, thinking that it is a good idea and that they won't get caught. Now, a lot of times, yes, it kind of works, but there's a lot of, if somebody really wanted to, they could crush this script kiddie because they have no networking knowledge, they have no encryption knowledge, they have no really any knowledge other than how to send an executable file. And script kiddie is definitely the lowest level that you can get. Please don't become one of those. That is not what I am trying to teach here. Level 2 is intermediate level. This here is you begin, you have some knowledge of covering your tracks, and you can script a virus using your own handwritten code in a basic programming language, even if it's just some basic C programming or even Python programming, and that's the intermediate level. And like I said, they have knowledge of covering up their tracks, and usually they have more defined targets. They're in it for a very specific reason, usually to get something out of it, or to inflict some damage that, upon their enemies. So that's a huge difference between script kiddie and intermediate, is defined targets. Script kiddies, I would literally say it's just for shits and giggles. There's no better way to explain that. So that, yeah, you got your level 2. And then you got your level 3 computer science level, or in my own words, I call them the script wizards. These are the people who, they know how to leave 0 traces behind. They can start inserting backdoors. They can find 0-day exploits. They can find a multitude of ways to attack at just about anything electronic on the face of the planet. Basically, for a prime example of a computer science level person or people, would be the people who made Stuxnet. That's the kind of level a level 3 is. What level am I? I'm merging from level 1 into level 2. I mean, I have a pretty good background in hacking now, so I would comfortably say that I'm level 2, but I'm very far off from a level 3. Alright, so those are your 3 levels. This tutorial is a level 1 tutorial, as is all of my tutorials right now, is level 1. Now, that's not to call me or each of you script kiddie. It is to say that we have to start at the bottom and build an awesome foundation, even with this little kid stuff, because believe it or not, that's how usually 90% of hackers started. I mean, they just started playing around with this stuff. thankfully, I'm here to clear up, some of the questions and hopefully concerns that each of you have. But either way, we're starting right around here with a little bit of this. And then later on, once I've reached computer science level, we're going to go ahead and we're going to dive into that. So let's move on. What is malware and viruses and such used for? There's multiple different reasons that people launch cyber attacks. For even from, like I said, the script kiddie level, you can do it just for fun or just to see if you can, which is honestly 90% of hackers usually do it just because they can and for stealing data, personal information, and financial information. But here are the reasons why people start using viruses and stuff. They can use them for destroying systems and information on them systems. They can use it for stealing data, personal information, and financial information, which then they can either profit off of it, or they can kind of do like a ransomware situation where they can hold it against people, or what I call cyber blackmail. Then you got your more advanced, which is crippling a nation state. Again, I'm going to go ahead and reference Stuxnet. They use that so that way Iran could not produce its nuclear weapons program any further, though they did and have been, but it put a huge dent in their nuclear program. And then last but not least, like I said, it's for fun, it's for a challenge. There are such things as harmless viruses, and I'll show you guys a little bit of that. But, and again, we just see if we can, okay? So these are the typical main reasons. I'm sure there's more reasons out there, but these are the ones that you're primarily going to see in this field. So what kind of viruses and malware is there? So you got your normal virus, which typically it can either harvest your data and corrupt files, or it can be used to destroy data and files and even your hard drive, depending on what level you're at. And usually it's self-contained, so usually that means it will only stick to one computer, or or a network of computers. Like, let's say you're at work and your work has multiple computers on a local area network. The virus could possibly spread across that local area network. Now, sometimes a virus could be coded into a polymorphic code, which means it copies itself and spreads throughout a wide area network. But again, that's usually not the case, and when it is the case, it's usually a state-sponsored attack. The next one would be the worm. The worm goes through a entire network, like the internet, or usually a larger scale collection of computers and systems. And a worm is strictly meant and sent in order to replicate itself, to spread it across multiple platforms. Okay, so that's the worm. Okay, and I don't know why it just deleted itself, but oh well. Alright, so the next thing is we have a Trojan. A Trojan is specifically hidden in a file or a certain section, and it hides and collects information, and it can even be partially used as a gateway for spyware, so it'll track your it'll have a keylogger in it. A Trojan is always self-contained. Usually, a Trojan can be used as a delivery system, which means that this virus itself contains another virus or worm or spyware or adware, and that is how it is released into the system. But usually a Trojan just hides in the system, and it can have multiple different functions. Okay, and then you got spyware. Spyware is, like I said, it is installed on a computer through an executable or batch file, and what it does is it logs your passwords, your websites that you use, really anything that you type into your keyboard on your computer, whether it be a desktop, a cell phone, a laptop, anything like that. It will track all of your keys. Then you have a logic bomb. A logic bomb is usually self-contained as well, but it is extremely destructive if you can get it from the file onto the target computer. Now, unfortunately, you can't really send that anywhere. But um, the logic bomb, if installed onto the computer that you're targeting, is executed through a USB plugin or a file upload or something like that. It'll wipe out the entire hard drive. It'll fry the computer. Again, it's not effective in means that you can send it to someone via email or link or clickbait or anything like that, but it is extremely effective if you're already sitting physically on that computer that you want to harm, and it'll obliterate it. Okay, that's why they call it a bomb. Okay, then you got your adware. Adware is basically where you're posting an ad online. Okay, you see all those ads, and this is why people don't click on ads. It's posing as an ad, and it tries to suck you in by saying, oh, we can help you transfer your files, your text files into PDF files. Click this link and it'll go to our website, and then when you click it, you get like a million pop-ups, or your computer just shuts down or it starts glitching out. That is adware. Then the more recent, more common form of virus or malware, or whatever you want to call it, I call them cyber attacks or cyber weapons, would be stegomalware. Now, stegomalware is a split between steganography and malware. So basically, let's say that I wanted to upload an image onto let's say onto, I'm trying to think of the site. I honestly am drawing a blank on the site right now, but okay, let's just say I uploaded a image onto Google. Okay, and then you click and download that image and save it to your computer. Well, steganography is where you hide a file behind that image in that image's data. Well, a stegomalware is where you hide a file that has malware contained in it into that image's data. So nobody would ever even really know until it starts damaging your computer, and probably until it's too late. So, okay, and then there's some evasion techniques that I didn't list on here, but that I want to go over. Evasion techniques, you can use cryptography to code your virus in, which then leaves no trace back to you. It just looks like your standard executable file that kind of came out of nowhere, and that's how that's done. Another way is through networking. You can build an SSH tunnel to that network, and you can start sifting, or I should say shifting files, infectious files across that SSH tunnel into that server or target computer. There's another way of evading is copying firmware certificates and then sending the firmware to the needed client, and really there's no way to tell because who reads their firmware update unless they really want to start digging into that, but usually people don't want to spend the time and money on that kind of thing. So that's another way, and there's a multitude of ways of evasion, but those are the two primary. So let's look into making our own virus now. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and we are going to learn how to create some very basic but extremely effective viruses. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 basic examples, and yes, these are script kiddie level. However, as I said, they are extremely effective. So these viruses are coded in a command line structure language, and no particular scripting language. So the first one I want to show you guys is what I call the window of death. And what this does is it basically erases the operating system from the computer. So basically, if you don't have an operating system, you're kind of screwed, right? So that is what this first cyber weapon is. Okay. So we go with Del. Okay, DEL, which stands for delete, and C drive /Windows /System32. So it's going to target all the System32 files, which again is basically everything that makes Microsoft Windows run. Okay, backslash, and then we're gonna shift. Oh wait, before we do that, oh yeah, we're gonna shift, put star, dot, shift again, and another star, and then you want to do a / this time, and type in Q. Okay, so that is the window of death. And in order to get these viruses to work, you need to have some sort of batch file to executive file converter. Okay, so I downloaded the advanced bat to exe converter. Or now you can basically you can just use Notepad, and you could save it as an execution file, and it'll pretty much work exactly the same. So that's the first one. Okay, it deletes the operating system just like that. As soon as they open that file, it'll start basically destroying all the System32 files on that computer, and that's how it renders it inoperable. Now, in order for these script kiddie viruses to work, though, unfortunately, you have to put it into the execution file, and then you have to send it to the person you're trying to attack, which means that if that person is smart enough, they're not going to open a random execution file. Well, that's where the beauty of this comes in. it, okay, hold on, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find, okay, well, there's a way in this system. I haven't honestly played around with it enough, but there is a way in this system, in this software program here, that you can create special icons to make it look extremely legit. So, you know, if the person you're targeting, you know that they're a gamer, then you can put like free Xbox codes, download, and you know they'll download it, they'll open it, and as soon as they open it, um, it begins doing its damage without, you know, them having any control. As soon as they double click on it, okay, that would be like me double clicking Hex Editor or Tor browser here, and as soon as the window opens, it's gone. Their computer's done. Alright, so you would send it to either their email, or if they're on a forum or a chat, you know, send it to them in a direct message, something like that, and then they'll download it and open it, and voila, your virus is executed. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at a second one, and personally, this one is my favorite because it kind of does the same thing, but they are allowed to, it'll let them restart their computer, right? And every time they restart their computer, it basically sends them um, a message every time, okay? So we're going to type in echo, and then we're going to type in @echo, and then off, and then we're going to do a larger than symbol, okay, with C drive, backslash, oh no, I'm sorry, no slash, just C colon, and then Windows heart LE double L dot bat, okay, and then you want to enter, and then you're gonna have echo, and then type in break space off, okay, and then this time we're gonna do two larger than signs, C backspace, and then again we're going to take Windows heartlab.bat, paste it here, okay, and then we're going to go into our next line, okay, and then we're going to go echo, shut down, one word, okay, shut down, minus R, minus T, 1 1. So it'll take, basically what this is saying is it's gonna run, its shutdown runtime is 11 seconds. Okay, now you can make it quicker, but then it's going to be more obvious. I would recommend nothing below 10 seconds and nothing past 20 seconds, because then they can back out of it. Alright, so, and then what it's going to do is it's going to shut down this file system, so -F, and then again we're going to go ahead and enter two greater than signs, and we're going to put our C drive, and yet once again we're going to paste in our Windows heartlel.bat. Okay, then we're going to boot into this echo, and we're going to command it to end, and then we're going to do two more greater than signs, and then our Windows lel.bat, heartlel.bat. So paste that. Now, this is where it starts getting a little bit more descriptive. So reg, R-E-G, and then add space H key, and then you want an underscore. Okay, local, and then we're going to add another underscore, and then we're going to say machine software Microsoft, assuming that they have a Microsoft computer, which most people do have Microsoft Windows. Even Linux users, they partition their hard drive and they still have the Windows portion on their computer. Some people replace it. I've tried replacing the entire OS with Linux and it works, but I honestly prefer the VirtualBox version. But yeah, okay, so Microsoft Windows Current. So this allows any version of the OS. Like if they have Windows 7 or Windows 8.1 or 8 or Windows 10, then it's no matter what, as long as it is defined as Microsoft Windows Current, then it'll attack any Microsoft Windows operating system, any version. Okay, current version run, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna space. We're gonna do a /v space /t. Then we need to add another space, and then we're gonna do a reg underscore sz. Okay, and then space /d, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our C drive again. Okay, paste, and then I need to head back up because we're not done. So once you've pasted that, you need to do a /f. Okay, now we can hit enter and start our next line. Which our next line, this is where it gets interesting, because not only are you deleting the hard drive, but now you're deleting all the administration that the user has on that hard drive. Okay, so we're going to go with reg, and then we're going to to say add, and then we're going to do H key again. Oh, okay, and then we're going to do another underscore. Current is the next thing we're going to type. Current, and we're going to add another underscore, and then we're going to say user of Microsoft Windows. Okay, all in one single non-space line. So user of Microsoft Windows, and add in version, run. Okay, and then again we're going to go with a /v and a /t, and then put our reg_z in, or reg_sc, so reg_sz, and then /d, and then we have our C drive again. Oh, C:, and then go ahead and paste your Windows heart lel.bat. Okay, and again I'm gonna have to scroll over so I can finish this. Oh, and it's not letting me. There we go. Okay, space, and do a /f again at the end of that line. Okay, now we can go down. Enter, and then every time. Okay, so this here is the part where it starts breaking down the operating system and the user of that, or I'm sorry, not the operating system. It starts breaking down the hard drive of the computer, and then it deletes the users of that computer so they can't get back into that computer. So, but every time it'll still let them start it up, but now you want to display a message to that person. Okay, so you're gonna type in echo, and then type in what you want. Like if you're trying to go for a more professional hacker, type in your hacker name, or something like that, a message that you want them to see every time they boot. And then what's going to happen is every time that message displays, it's going to reboot them back out of the computer and basically keep circulating until they give up and smash the computer off the wall, because it will more than likely never be fixed. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and we need to put in a pause, because then, like I said, this kind of ensures the recirculation of the virus onward. So there you go. That right there I call the execution weapon, okay, because you're executing their hard drive, and then you're displaying a message, either a warning or your hacker name or something like that. This is very, very, very effective. Do not try this on anybody, not even yourself. And, oh yeah, and another thing, by the way, as we're going along here, do not save this into an execution file and put it on your desktop and then try opening it. You will screw yourself so hard. I mean, unless of course you hate your computer and you want to destroy it, then that's fine. But if you want to test its effectiveness, first off, just trust my word. And second off, send it to somebody who has been picking on you or something like that. But don't just use this on anyone. this is a user-defined target weapon. And it really truly does work. Okay, I've seen it work. I've tested its legitimacy. I also saved it to my computer without opening it, and my antivirus picked up on it, and it deleted the file from my computer. So that's how I know if my antivirus is picking up on it, then it's definitely effective. I mean, there was warning signs everywhere. Okay, so definitely don't open this on your own computer. Alright, let's go on to the third and final that I have here. So, this one I call sudden death. And yet once again, this one is going to delete, it's going to delete the boot drive, it's going to delete the operating system, and it is going to delete all hard drive information. Now, if they have a restore CD, then they could restore it, but then they're gonna have to spend $200 to $300 on restoring that computer. So this one's just as effective, but not like that last one where there's nothing that they can ever do about it. So let's start with our normal command. Typically, the script kiddie ones start with echo or @echo. So @echo off. Then we're going to go ahead and go down a line, and then we're going to say attrib, which stands for attribute, attrib minus R minus S, and then minus H. Oop, that's not H, that is H, there we go. And then we're going to go with our C drive, which is basically the C drive is anything on the computer's hard drive or operating system. And then auto exec dot bat. So what this is an auto executioner, and the auto executioner is going to boot them straight into the virus once this is on their computer or on their hard drive. So then the next line of code, we need a del, and then we're going to copy this, okay, and we're going to paste it here. So then it deletes the auto executioner, and then here's our third line, or our fourth line, sorry. We're going to do another attribute or attrib, and we're going to do minus R minus S minus H, and we're going to do a C, okay, and we're going to backslash with a boot initiate, boot dot ini, okay, so there you go. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to copy this part, and then we're going to do another delete. Okay, so del, and we're going to paste, and there you go. Okay, so that's that part done. You just, right there, you just destroyed the boot drive of that target computer. Alright, so our next line, we're going to do an attrib again, attribute, and then we're going to do minus R minus S minus H again, copy, paste, and then this time we're going to hit our C drive, /NTLDR. Now, to be quite frankly honest, I honestly do not know what the NTLDR does. However, it is an extremely important part of this, so we're gonna keep that in there. So we're gonna copy that, and then yet once again we're gonna go ahead and do a del, and we're going to paste that, and that's that. Okay, and then this next one is where it attacks the operating system. So we're going to do an attribute, and we're going to go ahead and do a r minus s minus h again. Paste, and then we're going to space that. And now we're going to hit the Windows C drive. Okay, so oh, I need C and then backslash again. Windows. And then we're going to do another backslash, and then we're going to do win.ini. So basically an initiate. And then once again we're going to go ahead and we're going to delete the Windows initiation. So copy, and we're going to type in del, and go ahead and paste. And there is your virus right there. Okay, and I call this one sudden death because it immediately fries the computer the second that it is downloaded onto the target computer. And again, you have to transform these into, all three of these codes that I showed you are dangerous, and the way that they're sent is, again, you create your icon graphic, and and then you send it via email or a forum message or a chat direct message to your target, and it does its damage. However, here is the downside to all three of these. All three of these can be, once it's stored in an executable file, that file is going to tell the person where it came from. So let's say that they do a data recovery on the hard drive, and they find out that this came from your computer. Well, right there, I mean, that's you just broke a couple of different laws. And it's going to come back and it's going to haunt you. So I don't recommend really using these things on everybody. As the first frame of this video says, nothing that I'm teaching here is for each of you to go out and use against people. And if you do, I'm definitely not responsible. Honestly, I'm just trying to inform you guys of what a virus looks like and how easy it is for somebody to attack your computer or your system. Okay, I'm kind of spreading cybersecurity awareness here. All right, because I definitely am on the white hacker side. Unless somebody really, really screws with me, then I'll fire back. But I'm pro-U.S. government and using what I know against the United States' enemies. But yeah, so those are three very destructive viruses that are very easy to script and very easy to use, providing the person clicks and downloads your executable file. And as I discussed in the beginning of this video, there's multiple different things that you can, there's multiple different attacks and cyber weapons that can be used. Again, I'm just giving you guys a general idea, something cool to learn, something cool to play around with, and just so you guys can see the very basics. Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, and if you have any questions, go ahead and comment below. If this was informative and helpful, make sure that you guys go ahead and give this video a like. And if you guys want to learn more, please go ahead and subscribe. Add me on Snapchat and Instagram. I'm always, posting some cool things. I've been a little busy lately, but that's starting to slow down now that my penetration testing course is coming to an end. Alright guys, well, I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.